Hello and welcome to another Vinny Talks Yanks. I'm your host Vincent LaRose, and today it's an off day. It's Thursday, the day after the loss to the Twins, but we do win the series. Take the first two games on Monday and Tuesday, and overall, still a little bit concerning. If you all don't know, Paul Goldschmidt Tuesday night kind of took a pop-up a little bit weird, and he has a knee injury. He's taking further imaging today. They have not announced whether he'll go on the IL or not. So that's going on, and just, the Yankees still figuring out how to lose to teams they really need to beat. Granted, I know yesterday we go against Joe Ryan. He's one of the better pitchers in the AL, and he pitched really good against the Yankees. He threw the hardest ball of his entire season last night, and he obviously seemed pretty hyped up to pitch against the Yankees, so that does have a factor. That does not help the Yankees, but still a game we should win. Anyways, grand scheme of things, Yankees do win the series, and everybody loses yesterday, so positioning in the wild card and the division stay the same. They don't change much at all. We gain a game on every team after our two wins, so I believe if we check the standings here real quick, Yankees are still in the third wild card spot. They are a game ahead of the Guardians. They are now a game and a half behind the Red Sox, and there's a Red Sox series coming up, but the Red Sox have smacked us this year, so we'll see what happens. And like I said, we hold the third wild card spot. Red Sox are a game and a half up on us, and then Seattle's 3 games up on us. So good thing about Seattle is if we tie, we take that spot. We did win the season series against them, so that is good. And then for the division, we are 6 games back now. I don't think the division is a realistic thing anymore, as I believe there's only, how many games are there left? Why am I on the White Sox? That's weird. We're 64 and 57, so that's 121 games, so we have 41 games left. It is possible. I don't see it happening, though. I really think they should just bunker down and really just try to gain some space in the wild card. Expect a wild card spot, and go from there. So yeah, I mean, watching the series, you can tell we're going to beat bad pitching. Bad pitching is not going to be hard for us to beat. We have a good offense at the end of the day. It's really more about when we're going against good pitching and our pitching keeping us in games. Granted, unfortunately, not saying that Cam Schlittler didn't pitch bad at all, but we needed a Rodon start there. That we had game 2, going 7 innings, only giving up 1 run, and not a 5-inning start. Again, Schlittler did not pitch bad at all. He was only in the mid-80s for pitches. I got a couple people asking me why they would take him out. That's really dumb. You got to realize in the minor leagues, these guys don't pitch every 5th day. It's really once a week usually, so they're pitching on much more rest, and they're still only allowed 100 pitches. He's not used to pitching this frequently and throwing this many pitches, so you kind of have to ease him into it and get him ready for it. But I see him as a stick in the rotation for the rest of the season. They talked about Yarbrough coming back. When he does come back, I see he's probably going to be a long reliever because, as we've seen, a lot of our starters have struggled to go more than 5 innings, and if we're up by a lot or we're down by a lot, you could throw Yarbrough in there, and he likely can finish the entire game. So that is a very key and very important piece, kind of like a Michael King piece we had a couple years ago. So hopefully he's able to come off the IL, come off strong, and be our long man that we so desperately need right now. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the pitching. We got Cruz coming off soon. I know Bird's still in the minor leagues. He's trying to figure it out. So got a lot of roster shifting to do. Loizaca's still on the 15-day, so we're gonna figure out what they want to do with him when he comes back. I'm hoping when Loizaca comes back, they kind of mooch the rehab stint as long as possible. Just keep him in the minors rehabbing for as long as possible, hopefully to just get him somewhat right, because I do want a dominant Jonathan Loizaca in the postseason. he's just one of the nastiest pitchers. Even Alex Bregman said he's the hardest pitcher he's had to ever hit against. And Bregman's obviously really good. So when he's right, man, he's doing good. So that'll be a very key piece for us in the postseason. So hopefully he can get back and maybe figure it out a little bit while he's rehabbing in the minors. But outside of that, Judge hits his first home run back this series, and since coming off the IL. And Stanton has just been an absolute tear. Stanton has gone crazy. I know yesterday wasn't a great game, but he did get that last hit in the ninth to just try to rally the team up. Obviously, Ben Rice follows that with a double play. But Stanton has really been putting that work in, and if you look at his numbers statistically, he's really about the same hitter as when he's a DH compared to when he's an outfielder. It doesn't make that much of a difference, but Stanton has come out and said it. He feels better. He feels better in the outfield. He feels better at the plate when he's playing in the outfield, and he's just more. He feels more loose. So, which could be a case, and oh, okay. They just made a Ryan McMahon announcement. I thought he was injured or something. That scared me. But anyways, yeah, Stanton, he's looked great. He's been awesome for us, and I hope he continues to hit well for us. He's hitting 280 something on the season now, maybe in the 290s. OPS over 900. He's just been phenomenal for us, and hopefully we can keep that going. As we can see, watching these games, this lineup is truthfully, it's very different when you have both Judge and Stanton in the lineup. Whether Judge will be going back to right field, I'm not sure. I know they were talking about it the other day, and because he was actually throwing with Cole when Cole threw his first 20 throws flat ground, so that was a good little stepping stone for Garrett Cole on his way back. But they said he doesn't feel any pain anymore while throwing, so it wasn't going to be this series, which they were talking about the Twin series. They have an off day today, so I would assume that they're going to test some things out today, unless they're using today as a travel day, or maybe tomorrow in St. Louis. They test it out, see how his arm feels, and you can either see him back at the end of the St. Louis series or the beginning of the Tampa Bay series. We got 2 games down in Florida, so just a little 2-game stint, and it would make sense because it's in Steinbrenner Field, and it's right back exactly where he's going to play when in New York, same dimensions. So Judge should be coming back to right field sometime soon, throwing Stanton right back into that DH spot. If it were to happen, to where Paul Goldschmidt would have to go on the IL, I think you're going to see, obviously you're going to continue to see Ben Rice, which kind of throws, which basically throws Austin Wells back into the mix. Austin Wells has been absolutely awful for us. His bat has been horrible. He's hitting under 200 against righties this season, which kind of blew my mind when I saw the stats yesterday. And then yesterday, in his last at bat, an opportunity, get a run on the board and help us try to come back. It's a 3-1 count, and he swings at a ball 1.5 feet outside for strike 2, and then watches a pitch down the middle for strike 3. It was a truthfully awful at bat. I almost threw up. It was one of the worst at bats I've ever watched by Austin Wells, and he usually, even though he struggles, what the hell was that? Even though he has been struggling, he usually still takes good at bats, and that was not a good at bat yesterday. That was putrid, truthfully putrid, and in a spot where you're needed most. That was really bad. But it is what it is. We lose. You can't win every single game. Although yesterday's win would have been huge for us. It would have been huge. It would have been only half a game out behind the Red Sox and all that. But it is what it is. We lose, and can't really change it now. So hopefully he can go into St. Louis and play well. I know St. Louis is not anything crazy this year. Hey, my exhaust caskets are coming from my car. Look at that. St. Louis isn't anything crazy this year. They're 4 games out of a wild card spot. They're exactly 500. They're definitely a team we should beat. Just pitching wise, outside of Sonny Gray, who's not even really having a great season as an over 4 ERA. Like, their starting pitching isn't great. and their bullpen. I know they traded Helsley, so they're kind of just they're a team we should also go in and win 2 out of 3. Even though it is in St. Louis, we should win 2 out of 3, and keep it going, man. The Yankees don't need to win. Sorry. They don't need to win 15 in a row like the Brewers to make any sort of statement. Like teams like the Guardians and like maybe the Red Sox can. And currently right now Seattle's on one, but like a team like the Guardians I don't see going on 10 games in a row. They really just don't have the offense for it, truthfully. At the end of the day, they don't. It's not impossible. It can't happen. I don't want to pull a Michael Kay and say like, oh, Toronto Blue Jays aren't a first place team and now we're looking at them, because Michael Kay's really stupid and dumb. And I think he's just a horrible announcer and analyst. But anyways, I'm not going to get into that. But it's very tough to trust this team to go into St. Louis and beat a 500 team 2 out of 3. It's hard. Just the way they've played, the way the bullpen has gone. Yesterday, I know Yuri De Los Santos has been really good, but it still kind of questioned me in the sense of it's a 1-1 game, and as good as he has been, he's only had 3 appearances since coming off the IL, and I really wish he would have just went with, your guys there, Weaver, Duvall, like. I don't know. Even I wouldn't have mind Hedrick in the spot there, as he's been very good. It just didn't make a lot of sense to me. I actually posted a video last night on TikTok how I was really angry that Aaron Boone didn't pitch it for Austin Wells, and obviously, as we know, after the game, they tell us, oh, Paul Goldschmidt might have to go on the IL, so it didn't make sense why Austin Wells still swung the bat there. But as he is better than against lefties than he is righties, but. His offense is tough to watch sometimes. They can score 20 runs in the first 2 games and then score 1, and they're extremely inconsistent, and it's tough to watch. But our bench is getting it's kind of a cluster right now. As we all know, they've kind of outed Jason Dominguez at this point. His poor defense has really pushed him out of the lineup, and he has been struggling at the plate, so he hasn't really gotten a lot of time. I see him getting a couple games in where you want to get Judge a day off or Stanton a day off, and maybe a game where you throw Belly at first base instead of Ben Rice if there's a tough lefty. Sorry. But if there's a tough lefty, you might want to throw Belly at first instead of Rice. If it does end up being that Goldschmidt has to go on the IL, but it's also tough because Dominguez is really bad against lefties, so you might actually want to use Caballero in that sense. So unfortunately, I really don't see Dominguez getting a lot of playing time for the rest of the year unless there's a significant injury into the outfielders. Trent Grisham has been just way too good to play Dominguez over him, and I completely agree, and obviously his defense is a million times better. So the Yankees have a little bit of decision making to make, and hopefully, I think one of the key things for the rest of the season, the key pieces that'll ensure us a good wild card run, a good chance at holding the wild card and a good run in the postseason is Max Fried really needs to get back on track. Since his blister ordeal, he has had an over 6 ERA. I don't know if it's feel for his pitches or he's just plain getting hit, which it seems like that is the case. It just looks like he's getting hit, like he wasn't getting hit like that before. So Fried is really is a key part to this team, obviously, and it's really important for Fried to kind of figure it out for us to continue to win games, man. Because what did he pitch? I think he pitched Sunday, right? Did he pitch Sunday? Let me check. Be 100% sure. I believe he pitched Sunday at the Cardinals. Go back to the Yankees. And the loss, right? To Houston? Yeah. So he pitched Sunday. Gave up 4 runs. We only scored one, so whatever. But it's just, again, it's one of those things, we need Fried to lock in right now. Truthfully, we need him to lock in and start pitching well, because Fried, and Rodon starts right now are must wins. Like, we cannot lose those starts. Obviously with Warren, Schlittler, and Heal's still trying to figure it out a little bit, but he did look good the other night. And Warren has looked, just his last 2 starts have been phenomenal. So hopefully he can hopefully he can keep that going, because unfortunately, regardless if anybody likes it or not, like, Warren and Schlittler are gonna probably have to make starts in the postseason if we are to get to a championship series in the World Series. Obviously, that's a 7-game series. Maybe Schlittler's kicked out in the sense there, but if we make it to the ALCS, the World Series, Warren is going to have to make a start. You're not going to be able to live off 3 guys there, and I don't think our bullpen is built for a bullpen game, and especially in the postseason. So, I mean, you could probably sneak in if you trust it, like a Yarbrough and then all of our big bullpen guys into one game. But at this point, I'd rather see Warren start. With Yarbrough has been injured for so long. I know Yarbrough's been very good, but you can very easily have a quick hook for Warren and throw Yarbrough in after him. So, but Warren has truthfully impressed me. At the beginning of the season, I was not impressed. I was really not enjoying watching his starts. To be 100% honest, they were really bothering me. I just didn't think he was ready for the MLB, which he probably wasn't. But that's where it is, honestly, man. And that's pretty much where the Yankees are at right now. It's still trying to find consistency and, get decent gaps in between. Try to close in on teams like the Red Sox and the Mariners for that top wild card spot. Really fight for that spot, because it's going to be important, man. We do not. I believe right now, if the postseason were to start today, we would be playing the I think it's the Astros in the wild card series. So standings. Yeah, so if the postseason were to start today, we would be going against Houston. Seattle and Boston would be going against each other, and Houston just spanked us, and they always spank us in the playoffs, so that's not what we want. So it's really, really, really important for the Yankees to start winning more games, get that top wildcard spot so we can play. I don't have a scare in the world against the Mariners, Red Sox, and Houston. I don't want to play them in a wildcard series. They historically, not historically, but I would say since 2009, Houston and the Red Sox have annihilated us in the playoffs and not even been close. Wild card series, regular series, all that. 17 was the closest. Obviously going to a Game 7, probably got cheated out of that one, but it is what it is. We don't beat those teams in the playoffs, and we haven't for a very long time. So, stick to Seattle, a team we know we can beat. But we need that upper seed, man. We need to be at home. So, again, the Yankees need to figure it out. Bellinger's gone on a little bit of a slump, nothing crazy. I know he had a homer yesterday, so hopefully that helps him figure it out a bit. But all around, the team is improving. You can see improvements. They even said yesterday how they're going out 2-3 hours earlier than they were before, working on their defense to ensure that their defense isn't making mistakes. So they are putting the work in. It really just comes down to everything coming together to win games, because that's all that matters at the end of the day. So hopefully they can continue to stay level-headed, take it game by game, and they can, hopefully this series build some confidence. The Twins have been really bad, so it's a good series to go into. St. Louis has been really bad. Not really bad, but they're 500. St. Louis has not been good. Tampa Bay has, not been great, but they usually have our numbers. So hopefully, they can go in for that. It's only a 2-game set, so 1-2 and out of there. And then going into a 4-game set against the Red Sox next weekend. Next weekend, I see is the biggest series of the entire season. I know the Red Sox aren't in first place, but they're ahead of us, and it's going to be a confidence builder because the Red Sox have destroyed us this year. So, it's in Yankee Stadium. So, is it Yankee Stadium or is it in Fenway? Let me check. I thought it was Yankee Stadium, but I might not be right. Nope, it's in Yankee Stadium. So that's a big 4-game set that it's pretty much going to shape the end of our season. After that, we play Washington, Chicago. We go back to Houston, so that's going to be a big thing. And Houston and Toronto. So, and then we have one more series against Boston. But we have 2 more series against the White Sox, 2 more series against Baltimore, and another series in Minnesota. Like these, and when we go to Washington, when Washington comes to New York, like these are series we it's a must. Like you really need to sweep these teams, at least get 2 out of 3. So, but that's pretty much it for today. We all know what's going on. We all know what's happening. I think I'm gonna get away from the breakdowns, the series breakdowns, at least for now. Because there's just a lot more important things to talk about and focus on than talking about every single game. So, and I get a lot more. Numbers-wise on YouTube, I get a lot more viewerships about when I'm just talking about the game and not the actual series breakdown. Or I'm sorry, I'm just talking about the Yankees, the news that's going on, and not just breaking down the series. I like I said, I'll bring up key points like Stanton's amazing series, Judge getting his first home run since coming off the IL, stuff like that. Warren's really good start, Rodon's really good start. I'll bring up key points like that, but I don't think I'm gonna actually fully break down the series. At least for right now, because like I said, I tend to get more viewership doing it this way than that. But anyways, I'm going to end it there. Hopefully the Yankees can enjoy an off day, work on some stuff, go into St. Louis, and really need to truthfully need to sweep this team, and we need to start a win streak, but we'll see where it goes. But I'm going to end it there. Thank you for everybody listening, watching, podcast side or YouTube side. I appreciate every last bit of it. And go Yankees.